What's up guys, Tsuame here, and I'm just doing a quick replay on a test of my Skull Servant, or Wight deck. I figure I think I'm going to start doing replays. It's a bit less time intensive and that I can still do really good deck profiles really quick. I've also started using DevPro, as pretty much everyone does. In this current duel, we're facing a pretty interesting Monster Mash deck. It performed very well. That's another thing I've noticed. I've only played a few times on DevPro, but most of the decks that you face are a bit more creative in comparison to regular, like Wigo Pro, Percy, or whatever. Just they as they have separate servers from each other, and the community on DevPro just seems, again, just more innovative. It's not your usual Raffle Stomp, Bubble Beat, or Fire Fist, or anything like that. So we'll just start with this. I got a pretty dang good opening hand. Again, the deck performed very well in this. It was interesting. I'm actually surprised he didn't run a BLS in this too, because it could be supported very well. But here I got our dealings. For that, I kept the lure in because it can set up really good plays with Wight Mare. If I ever happen to get it in my hand, it can get a free special summon of King. As you can see, I set a Book of Moon and a Gravity Bind. Here he drops a very big load of monsters. I was running Ryko instead of Magical Merchant, but I was getting a lot of the mills that I really didn't want. And a lot of these really worked out. Like in this case, I get 2 of them in the graveyard and a 1-for-1, which on the next turn I can get something very nice. But here, just playing basic defensive. Gravity Bind is a very nice tech for a Skull Servant, as it can shut down a lot of things like Dark World or anything like that. I actually should have Wight Mare for that, and then 1-for-1. That would have been a lot better now that I consider, because he just kind of stayed in my hand and stayed pretty dead throughout the game. But still not too terrible. I actually could have normal summoned him that turn too. That's another great thing about this deck. Unless it's a face down defense, you really never normal summon anything. But here we go again, just setting a Magical Merchant, running into Jujutsu Master, which still wasn't too bad. As Magical Merchant milled him more, I was able to book a life in on the next turn. But there you go, Magical Merchant. Got another really nice set of mills on him, and I think it gave me a Monster Reborn here. Yep. Which again just set up so many more beautiful plays. As you will see, King is quite pumped in this situation. Here, I just book a life for him. Just removed freaking anything. A lot of these decks I don't know what to remove for book of life, but it's just another few copies of him. I brute forced through Zen Maidens. I figured he would have destroyed one of my monsters, but he just went for Gravity Bind, which isn't that terrible. I guess I can see, since he had the Cephalons in his hand, he didn't want that hampering it. He dropped a Gigantes for pretty much a good monster, or Heavy Storm, which is a really good thing to have for a Monster Mash deck for sure. And again, you saw it took out that Monster Reborn. Now having Chaos Sorcerer I really wish I could tech in BLS, but I actually ordered everything I needed. It only cost me about $25 without the BLS, which would triple the price for me. But here in that case, I was able to grab BLS out, or Chaos, and get rid of that. It's not bad to have. I have the 3 Magical Merchants, so why not throw in a really good monster removal? And then I think this ended up being game, because he didn't get anything that could be of use. So that's pretty nice. Couple of really, really pumped up kings. I think it shows in a different window, so we'll have to stop this really quick, but I'll do a quick profile of what I've got going on in the deck. And here it is, at least what I'm currently running. I think for some reason I don't have a Tragedia, which would be better than a Gores, most likely. But yes, anyway, just running 3 of the vanillas. I know a lot of builds don't, but after even just some test shuffles and a lot of test plays, having those extra 3 is really nice. And you know, aside from any other 3 monster, like I can't remember what I took out for them. I think there was like 2 magical merchants and something else. But just having that extra 3 for extra fodder for king, or some, you know, easy ditch for Dark World Dealings, or easy ditch for 1/1, or even Veil of Darkness, anything of that nature. Having the 3 vanillas is really nice. 1 Gores, again, a pretty good hand trap, nice beat stick. Chaos Sorcerer, again, because just having the 3 magical merchants, I pretty much get them out every duel, and everything else is dark. Yeah, just it's a really nice, quick. You know, every turn you can remove a monster, and if your opponent doesn't have a face down, it's even a good quick 2300. Why not? Endless Decay, because, you know, why not? It's a possible 1 sacrifice, or if you're in a real big pinch, you can summon it for free. Most of the time, it'll be 4,000, and it's only when it's summoned, whatever half your opponent's life points are, is what it is, instead of it tracks with your opponent's life points. Most of the time, you know, it's still an easily dropped out high attack monster. Very few cases will it be below 2,000. 2 Zombie Masters, as again, there's a lot of stuff you want to ditch. Pretty much anything, even including a king, if you want to have one on the field, or if you're planning on summoning one, you can ditch a king to summon a king, or ditch any of these to summon anything else. 1 Mizuki for a quick summon. That's one big strength this has, is king can resummon himself. You have the 2 Book of Lives and the Monster Reborn, along with Mizuki, to just keep your trump out on the field, or, you know, even just get a decay back out, because it's whenever he's normal or special summoned, he gets that boost. 1 Necroface, just because there is a lot of removal from game in the deck, and it just kind of helps with that. But it I don't know, it's just another kind of easy tech as just to keep the cards alive, and it also helps with a lot of the milling I'm doing, refilling the deck. 3 Lady in Whites, 3 White Mares, 3 Kings. Along with those, the Lady in White, I almost never use her effect, but, you know, if I happen to already have a king on the field, drop a Book of Life, get her out, and then you have king on the field. What is it? Cannot be destroyed by battle and unaffected by effects. And then if you also have a seal on the field, with the king and the lady, then it's a pretty amazing combo. Lady can't be targeted, king can't be destroyed. It's just pretty amazing. The White Mares setup can be used for really nice plays. Just getting your Skull Servants and White Mares back to the graveyard to boost king, or if you dropped a king with a lure, then you can just discard him and summon him really quick. So that's why, yeah, usually with a lure, I'll pick a king if I have one. 3 Magical Merchants for that quick mill. And again, I was running 3 Raikos instead, because I have that additional destruction. But again, I was usually like milling out my Dark Holes or anything like that. So this is really nice, as it only mills the monsters, and then it usually gives you something that you need at that moment. And then again, the 3 bosses. You have the King of Skull Servants, as you saw in the duel. They do beautifully, in most cases, and if not, they're just, you know, I've had duels where I'll bounce them back as an easy wall that never dies. As far as spells, we got Allure of Darkness, which is some really good draw, and again, you can combo well with King and Wight. 2 Book of Lives, just has another couple copies of Monster Reborn, but it can remove some trouble cards, like if you're Dark World, it can get rid of a Grapha after you've destroyed it, or anything in that case. 1 for 1, which is one of the best cards in the deck. Easily just ditch a Skull Servant or anything else, and get a free King out of your deck. We've got the Heavy Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and Book of Moon for staples, also along with Mirror Force, Torrential. Again, everyone should know what they do. Dark Road Dealings is a really nice tech. I like it a little better than Hand Destruction, as you get to draw first before you have to discard, and it's just all around really good for this type of deck. Veil of Darkness is another big tech of mine that I know not a lot of people run, but it gives you so much free draw. As over half the deck, well, no, exactly half the deck is dark monsters, and most of them you want in the graveyard, so you get a lot of free draws. And then Seal, which is my field, as I don't have an extra deck, it's not a problem. And again, there's the combos with King and really anything else. Now that I think about it, I skipped over Morphing Jar. It gives you really good hand refresh. I've had most cases where I have, if I have a Morphing Jar, I'll, first turn, set Morphing Jar, I'll usually have a good deal of these in the hand. I can ditch them easily, and then get a free 5 cards, Works very well. But again, off track. Seal is just in general good. I haven't had any case where destroying all your special summon monsters is a problem. Mirror Force for simple negation, Torrential to shut down some important plays for sure, and then Gravity Bind, which is another, again, tech, in that your main beater is a level 1, so aside from Xyz decks, it shuts down your opponent, doesn't hurt you whatsoever. Again, no extra, although I am thinking about just throwing in some Tyragons or something like that in the small case that it's a possibility, and then I can just jump over my opponent's monsters with King. The side deck is still kind of work in progress, but there are some general actual side deck choices. I'm still flip-flopping with Rykos for sure. D.D. Crow is really nice just to get rid of things, and it's also another dark. I like having the possibility. With Advanced Ritual Art, this deck can run Relinquish very, very well, and with the Ritual Art, it's a quick ditch of a Skull Servant or a Wight straight to the graveyard to get your Relinquished. But you'd have to have both in your hand, so it'd take a bit more teching around with Gold Sarcophagus, Gold Sarcophagi, or anything like that. An extra copy Book of Life, just in case. RDD, which could probably replace Necroface, but in any case, it's not half bad. Pyramid of Wonders. I've had a lot of cases. In early testing, I've made this, and stuff like I would drop a King, they Torrential, and since it's only when exactly one face-up zombie monster would be destroyed, period, and usually all I have is 1 King on the field. Even if they were to attack into it, or if I only have the 1 King, and they play Torrential or Mirror Force or anything in that case, I can just ditch this and keep it. And then 2 Deck Devies, which is definitely something I will side permanently, in that you have Gores, Endless Decay, Chaos Sorcerer, and even Zombie Master when you have Orichalcos on the field, or also when, if I were to also side in Pyramid of Wonders, you'd be up at 2,000. So you can ditch any of those and kill a lot of things. So again, there's a lot of targets for Deck Devi to cause some trouble. But that is the deck. I again have already set what I want to buy for it, and it's very cheap. So I'm definitely going to probably order it very soon. So I have something else to take the locals. I still want to build a Frog Lancer deck, but it's just a little bit above my price range currently. So this will definitely be my my current beater deck, and it still, you know, fits its own role. It has no extra deck, so it's not like I kind of want to do something where I have one synchro deck, which is currently my psychic deck, maybe my Naturia. I'm kind of bouncing around between the two, but the psychic deck seems to have a bit more consistency. But anyway, so the psychic deck is pretty much the synchro deck. The Frog Lancer deck is going to be my quick Xyz deck. This is going to be my quick beater. My good Animata is my chain burn, of course, and then that's pretty much it. Instead of having, you know, 500 Xyz decks, 500 synchro decks. It just keeps the game fresh for me while not overextending myself money-wise. But that's it. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I think I'm going to keep doing the same format of just doing replays whenever I get an entertaining duel out of it. And again, it helps with time. I can do profiles and not be a half hour long. And I get time to talk, you know. But anyway, yes, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. This is Tsuame again. I'll talk to you guys later.